Hello and welcome back to Day 5 of the Australian Underwater Hockey National Championships. We're just about to commence play in Game 1-4-5-4. Elite Men's Division, Queensland in the white versus Victoria in the black. This is the bronze medal playoff for the Elite Men. 30 seconds till the clock starts. I'll quickly run through the team list for Queensland. We have number 2, Daniel Russell. Number 8, Regan Leon. Number 11, Sam Thompson. Number 5, Max Campbell. Number 12, Lyndon Reeve. Number 6, Florian Stotts. Number 3, Luke Newland. Number 4, Josh Pickering. Number 10, Oscar Wine. Number 7, Marco. Number 9, Sam Hind. And number 1, Dan Alport, as play has commenced now. Queensland looking to use the wall as Victoria hold the puck on there. Strong defensive effort from the Vics now as Queensland pushing forward down that wall. I'll come back to the Vic team list in a minute as we watch this passage of play. Brought in through the centre, looks to be by a black bat. Victoria looking for a backline switch, shut down by Queensland though. And the play is taken to the far side wall where it will congest. Of course, the grand final being battled out in the other court as we speak. It is Western Australia versus New South Wales. New South Wales finishing on top of the ladder, I believe, but it will be a bash and crash for gold medal in that court. Victoria, of course, finishing on the bottom of the table. Queensland looking to finalise their position and take home the gold. Victoria with a point to prove as play stagnates on that far wall. Seen a few very exciting games already in this court. Earlier this morning we had the under-15 playoff for bronze, where Western Australia B fought out against Victoria. They drew at the end of regular time, played on to extra time, and when that drew, they ended with a golden goal, won by a slim margin by Western Australia. Infringement called now, and it will be a Western Australian free. Vic on the back foot, about 10 metres out from their goal tray. They'll look to clear it to that far corner, which of course is on the sub-bench side. The near corner is the away side from the sub-bench. If you are watching the live stream, thank you for joining us. Feel free to jump in on the chat. If you've got any questions to ask, let us know. Has been a rainy morning in Queensland, but the sun is shining now. Hopefully a nice clear evening for the presentation nights and medal ceremony. As play once again drawn to that far wall, and there will be an infringement called. This time against the Queenslands, and they'll set up around the middle of the court. Victoria setting up to take their free. Even match so far, but it is early days. We'll wait to see who gets the first goal before we make a call about who is dominating this match so far. Nice effort there from Queensland to drive it forward, but Victoria quick to jump on them, and they'll switch it across the court. Queensland halfback hovering there, waiting for the steal, and play moves into our blind spot. Lots of numbers on the surface there. I imagine it's a bit of a one-on-one on the wall at the moment. Men's teams, of course, very strong on the wall, often looking to push, and we will see the puck taken into the centre of the court, but driven wide by Victoria. Referee signalling advantage puck on the surface. We'll wait to see, and she will call an infringement now. That is a chopping foul against Queensland, playing advantage, but now pulled up. Advantage puck to Victoria, but Queensland in a strong position still to score through the centre corridor should they get the opportunity. Driven straight up, not to the wall. Interesting decision. And Queensland quick to capitalise on that as they drive the puck back towards Victoria's tray. Big effort there from Queensland, but an infringement called again. Few eager players looking to drive it out, but the ref will pull it up. And that looks to be a barging call against Queensland. Already a few fouls called in the early days of the first half. Victoria playing fairly cleanly so far. And Victoria look to take it to their near wall where their sub bench is. Good decision. And they'll look to sub there now, get a few fresh players in, give themselves an opportunity to drive down that wall and hopefully slot it into the Queensland goal tray. The games played today, we saw Tassie take out the gold in the under-19 division, beating WA 4-2. Very close contest in the first half, with Tassie just pulling away in the second half to score 2 unanswered goals against Western Australia as Queensland drive it up, but stolen by Vic and pushed along their far wall. The camera side closest to us. A wing hovering there, waiting for the opportunity to steal and go for a breakaway, but play will continue down this wall. Picked up well by Victoria. They're double teaming the Queenslanders quite well there. As a Queensland wing swims in looking for the steal. Curl, a bit of a loose pass, but picked up anyway. If you are just joining us, the score is currently at 0-0, with play spending a bit of time in the Victorian defence, but Queensland now on the back foot. An attempted a drive there from Queensland, shut down by Victoria, and he flicks past a Queensland defender. A lot of caps on the surface watching now, bit of confusion, and it looks like a bit of congestion there as a few players fight for control of the puck. Yeah, play tending to hover in our blind spots. Bit unfortunate. As Queensland regain possession, look for a drive up the wall. Stolen back by Victoria. But a nice cut on the 45 by Queensland. He goes through 3 Victorians and offloads to his teammate. Hello, love. How are you going? Joined now in the commentary box by Maggie Biffin. Maggie, any thoughts on this game?
Pardon?
What are your thoughts?
I haven't been watching it. Who is it? Queensland Vic. Surely Victoria will get a win. Surely.
Well, Victoria currently on the bottom of the ladder, but Maggie Biffin's gutsy call that Vic will take out the bronze. Maggie's rescinded her earlier call. She thinks Queensland to take home the bronze now. Bit flip-flop. Mags, are you ready for your game, which will be the next one?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. Not warmed up, but I'm ready to play, so it should be a good game. I'm looking forward.
You going to win?
Hopefully. We really want to. I think we could do it if we really tried.
Yeah, join us in Court 1 at 1 o'clock to watch the showdown between Tasmania and Western Australia for the gold medal finish in the elite women's division. Maggie Biffin joining us there. And of course, Western Australian men's playing in the other court at the moment for their opportunity to win a gold medal against New South Wales as play congests in the middle of the pool. Vic on the back foot just slightly as play hovers around the centre of the court. Driven up through the centre corridor. Interesting strategy from Victoria. They seem to have had enough of that wall bash and they're going to look to drive their centre corridors. Shut down well by Queensland though as he flicks to his off wing. Goes on a bit of a drive but pulled up by Victoria. And it cuts back through the middle. Back again to the wall. And Queensland takes the steal. Flicks into the centre. Sneaky move there. Looks to the centre but shut down well by Victoria. Queensland will go again. But hit by a Victorian wing. Oh, and a very close call. Excellent defence from Victoria. He curls and passes. And picked up by his teammate who will drive it to the far wall where his sub bench is. A few fresh legs in now for Victoria. And they'll hold along their sub bench while they get a few subs in. Queensland goes on a drive now. 2 Victorians down. Can they stop him? And it looks that they can at this moment. Oh, but they all pop. Driven to the corner. And they'll hold it there a minute. Number of caps on the surface now. Everyone taking a minute to regather their breath in what has been an exhausting first half. Both teams currently 0-0 as Queensland cuts the 45, looking to drive to the centre of the tray. But Vic too strong in the defence, and they'll take it back to their sub-bench wall as an infringement is called. Looks to be chopping against the Victorians, and they'll set up right on their goal tray. Queensland around 6 or 7 metres out, and they'll look for a quick and cheap goal here. Sinking down now, Queensland cuts it in right to where the defenders are, and excellent stealing there from Victoria. He takes it right to the corner. That is number 10, Roy Trumbull. Young man could be playing in the under-19s, I believe, but no, he will be a rock-solid halfback for Victoria, and he does an excellent job there as they hold it on that corner. Queensland going for the drive, but another infringement called. Stick infringement against the Queenslanders now. They've unfortunately not been able to capitalise on that opportunity Victoria presented them. Victorian defence very strong so far, but unless their forwards can pick up and make some decisive drives towards the Queensland goal tray, they will be getting a bit tired. Queensland halfback there, just hovering, waiting for a steal. Might look for a switch. And he charges in to get the puck, backed up by his fullback, I imagine. Halfback still hovering, looking for the drive across the pool, and it will go ahead. Shut down by Victoria, though, who looks for the wall again. And that puck carves across to the far side where the sub-benches are. Queensland given an opportunity to sub for the first time in some minutes. The play will drive down that wall. Sitting around 10 metres out from Queensland's tray, it cuts back in through the centre. And Victorians on the drive now, but Queensland retaliate. Oh, and here he goes. Breakaway swim option. He curls it back, looks to go again. But shut down on the wall by Victoria. And both teams will have an opportunity to reset. As Queensland... A sneaky pass backwards. Didn't look though, and it's a bit loose. Picked up though by his teammate. Queensland charging in. Good defensive effort from Victoria. But it looks like Queensland have sunk a goal. And the referees will signal that is a goal for Queensland. White number 7. For Queensland, that is Marco. I believe Marco has played in the junior divisions for Australia. So good goal, Marco. Excellent team effort from Queensland there, and Victoria will signal a timeout. Good strategic move there. While we got the timeout, I'll run through the Victorian team list. Number 1, we've got Reece Quilford. Number 7, Todd Canavan. Number 10, Roy Trumbull. Number 4, Stephen Taylor. Number 11, Tim Craig. Number 9, Kevin Chisholm. Number 13, Jack Hopkins. Number 8, Ben Robinson. Number 14, David Tordo-Tiga. And I believe number 2 might not be playing. So we've got a few lines through that. So Queensland buoyed up by that goal in what I imagine is not too much time remaining in the first half. Very close game so far. Victoria just on the back foot, and as anticipated, their backline is getting quite tired by Queensland's constant pressure on their goal tray. They'll want a retaliatory goal if they're going to lift their spirits back up before conclusion of the first half, as the counter clocks down and the play recommences. Strike taken and won by Victoria, who flicks off to his wing, and the halfback will come in to shut it down. Lots of argy-bargy on that wall from both sides. Very physical game, particularly in the men's division. But a fairly clean game so far. No kickouts, not too many infringements, as Queensland go for a barrel, but well stolen by Victoria. However, an infringement called, and I imagine that will be against the Victorians. On the back foot there. Seems to have been barging as Queensland look to make a breakaway. And the puck will set out almost directly in front of the Victorian goal. Around 7 metres out. Victoria will need to clear it to their wall, and that's what they attempt to do as play carves in through the centre. But Queensland very strong on the bottom. And they'll look to use that back wall to their advantage. Stolen and curled, pass back in. Oh, an excellent defensive work there from Victoria. Todd looks around for some support, finds some. Oh, wasn't it? Oh, wasn't it? I thought it was number 7. Oh, Kevin looked for some support and he found it. Victoria around 10 metres out from their tray. And they'll drive up along this wall. The wall game hasn't quite worked for them, but then again, neither has the centre corridor. Queensland seems strong in every aspect of this game so far. Just haven't quite been able to capitalise on the opportunities Victoria's given them. And Victoria quite lucky that the score is only 1-0. But still a game that hangs very much in the balance as Queensland make another effort on to Victoria's tray. We have a little trouble switching between the cameras, but an infringement called now. Yeah. And our deck umpire singles. That will be the end of the first quarter, and we move into half-time. Queensland in the white, leading Victoria in the black by just a single goal. Exciting game we have here on our hands. In the gold-silver playoff, we have, I believe, New South Wales in the white, leading Western Australia in the black by 2 goals. This, of course, the penultimate game of the 2019 Nationals, hosted graciously by Queensland. Thanks for having us. To be followed by the bronze medal playoff. Well, the fourth playoff in the women's division, should I say, and that will be between Pacific and the Amazons. Of course, the bronze medal already taken out by Victoria this morning. And Tasmania and Western Australia to battle each other for gold in Court 1 following proceedings in this game. Nice shot of our super referees, been putting in all the hard yards for this tournament, which absolutely could not go ahead without their superstar efforts. A number of them jumping in and out of the pool, both to referee and coach, as the case may be, or even as a player referee. So, thank you for their superstar efforts. We have around a minute before play will recommence in game 154. Queensland versus Victoria. Queensland leading 1-0 in the white, Victoria in the black. If you are watching on the live stream, thank you for joining us. Feel free to jump into the chat. We'd love to hear some encouragement for your players if you're watching. And if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot them our way as the counter tracks the last remaining seconds of the halftime break, and play will shortly recommence. And there's the buzzer now. Victoria very quick off the strike, offloads to his wing, and they'll cut it through the centre corridor, but Queensland look to take it to the far wall, which is, of course, the nearest wall to us. Excellent steal there from Victoria, but cleaned up by Queensland, and he'll go again. Backed up by his centre. Queensland halfback there, waiting for the steal, and he'll rotate with the rest of the back line. Victoria now bringing it off the wall. They cover back in, flicks. Nice neat pass to his teammate, but doesn't quite make it there. Loose pass now from Queensland. Shut down by Victoria, he passes back to his teammate. Queensland continues their momentum along this wall, and play will stagnate just for a moment as numbers sink down to the bottom. Victoria still looking to drive up the wall. Play spills out into the middle of the court, but comes back to this wall where both teams seem quite comfortable. It's been a rainy morning in Queensland, and although the skies cleared for a little while to give us some sun, we are back now to some pretty heavy cloud cover and ominous grey colours foreboding a bit of rain later in the day as play is pulled up. That will be a chopping foul against Queensland. Oh, against Victoria. Queensland set up for their free puck. And it comes almost immediately to the far wall. But they'll look to cut it straight through the centre. Risky moves. Although it pays off for them, and they'll go on a drive now. Play stuck right in that blind spot of our cameras. We see Vic very much on the back foot here as an infringement is called. That will be a gloving foul against Victoria. And Vic now just a few metres away from their goal tray, under a lot of pressure here to clear it. Oh, an excellent flick to the wall, and Queensland will pass it back. Another sneaky curl, another drive, another curl. And that formula just hasn't worked for Queensland, as some skills from Victoria will take the puck to the safety of that corner. Victoria bring it out. Another curl from Queensland. They're pretty keen on using this wall. Might be to their advantage to bring it out and around and park the bus. Good defensive effort from Victoria. They keep looking for their corner, but of course they will have to make an effort to clear it out as Queensland carves it in through the centre. Realising that their backline work on their back wall hasn't quite paid off, they bring it out and through the middle, and it results in a goal. Seems to have been scored by black number 2, Daniel Russell. That takes Queensland's lead to 2-0 against Victoria with around 10 minutes left to play in the second half. Victoria really need to lift now if they're to stand any chance of getting back into this game. Queensland riding high on 2 goals scored now. We see Victoria win the third strike, and they've got the momentum here as they drive forward. But shut down by Queensland, and they'll take it to their sub-bench side. Puck comes back into the middle where it has spent rather a large amount of time today. Lots of efforts at switching, but both teams very quick to jump on those and shut down, which has resulted in a very congested game. I would say two fairly evenly matched sides, but Queensland certainly with the upper hand here. Victoria haven't had a whole lot of efforts on the tray. Been very heroic in their back line, stopped a number of excellent drives from Queensland as they take it out to the far wall. Queensland looking to bring it back through the centre. Victoria desperate to shut down the switch, but not quite getting there as it's flicked forward to their wing and brought to the wall. Queensland on the move here. Victoria looking to flick it out, but a loose flick results in Queensland possession. He looks for the goal, he sees it. Oh, he's going to headshot Victoria there. I imagine the referee's seen that one. Oh, but it seems to be a barging call against Victoria. Not to be biased, but that was certainly a headshot from Queensland to Victoria, and they're lucky to keep 6 men in the pool. And it seems Victoria will choose to use their timeout right now. Good decision. We'll check if the bloke who copped a puck to the head still has his teeth. Oh, that's Queensland's goal. Yeah, I keep getting lost. Yeah. Seems that flick actually came off a Vic bat because Vic, of course, is the black team. So Victoria very lucky there that they will keep 6 men in the water. Queensland undoubtedly unhappy at the turn this game has taken. They are now on the back foot. Just a few meters out of their goal tray. Vic will really need to capitalise here if they're any hope to stay in the game. Players sink down, looking to get down early. Might see a claw effort from Victoria to really shove the puck into the tray. They'll bring it out and around, flick straight into the melee. And Queensland defence looks successful as they drive it to their sub-bench corner. Excellent defensive work there from Queensland. Victoria really not capitalising on that opportunity they were given. And play will push backwards towards their own defensive tray. Queensland now on the move, turning the tables completely on Victoria. Unfortunately, our camera has been kicked. So we've got a nice angle of these broken pool floats. Yeah, play stagnating on that far wall. But Queensland's drive very powerful and effective as an infringement is called up. Another stick infringement against Queensland. They'll really need to watch those if they want to avoid a team warning, which may result in a kick out if they're not careful. Score update, it is 2-0. Queensland lead Victoria with around 6 minutes left to play. Play driven back towards the Queensland goal tray, but the puck hovers around their sub-bench, so Queensland will take the opportunity to get some fresh legs in off the bench as an infringement is called. Stick infringement against Queensland once again. Perhaps time for a bit of a reminder from the ref that the stick cannot come into contact with any part of the other team's body, especially their arm. and that the stick must only touch the opposition's puck, essentially. The stick cannot be used in any other way. As Queensland take possession and drive it to their far wall, of course the wall closest to us. And we'll see Victoria very desperate now to sink a goal in as the clock drains on the second half. Victoria looking for a Glory Days switch, but shut down by Queensland. However, an infringement called. Another chopping foul against Queensland. One ref signalling chopping, another barging. In either case, it will be a Victorian free. Oh, it's an exciting game. Yep. Player for bronze. That's the gold medal game, though. Oh, Victoria on the drive now, taken right to the corner of the tray, but shut down by Queensland. Can they make a second effort before Queensland clear it to the corner? And desperation now on the goal tray, but Queensland successfully clearing the puck to the corner. Excellent defensive work. Unfortunately, Victoria going in ones and twos, not backed up by their whole team, and it really shows as they just cannot sink the puck into the tray. Had it hovering up in the Queensland defensive third for a number of minutes now. But Queensland very successful in driving it out and using that near wall to drive it up towards Victoria's defensive tray. Play comes to the centre of the court, although it will be a foul. Barging foul against Victoria. Bit of desperation to keep Queensland from initiating that switch, I imagine. Free puck taken now by Queensland, who brings it into the centre of the court and offloads to his halfback, who goes for a big swim now. And Queensland will look to bring it back into the centre of the court to drive into the centre of the tray. Good effort there from Victoria to clear it to their corner. Queensland still strong in the puck though. Vic looking for the opportunity to use this wall to drive out of their goal tray, but Queensland strong enough now, looking for a third goal, which will certainly signal that they will win this game. Loose flick though now from Queensland and cleared by Victoria. No one there to pass it to, and Queensland will bring it back in. Vic looking for the wall, Queensland looking for the tray. Nice tight pass there from Victoria, but Queensland very strong on the wall. Attempting to bring it up and around the back wall rather than cut it through the centre, although I wouldn't be surprised if they attempt that next. Victoria desperate to defend their tray now. Good teamwork, but we are seeing just a few Victorians on the bottom, whereas Queensland seem to have numbers everywhere. And the puck will come now through the centre of the court. An attempt at a drive by Victoria, shut down by Queensland. And they'll drive it back towards the Victorian goal tray. This is dangerous times. Well stolen now from Victoria, and they'll take it to the wall. Victorian defenders really under the pump, and it'll certainly be wearing them down as they're a long way from their sub bench without a breather. And the puck clears into the centre. Misses the opportunity to go for the breakaway. Shut down well by Queensland, but the puck will move to the far wall. And Vic will take the opportunity to get a few fresh legs in. very closely fought contest since Queensland's last goal. However, Victoria very much on the back foot in the last few minutes. Excellent effort to keep it out of their tray and keep Queensland restricted to just 2 goals. Although Queensland looking for a third now as they drive it along their sub-bench side. 30 seconds left on the clock now, and it will certainly be a Queensland victory from here. However, pride is on the line and Victoria will want to keep that score to just 2-0. Infringement called now. 2 referees seeing different fouls, and they'll just gather together to discuss what infringement has occurred. But with very little time remaining, it's unlikely to have an impact on this game. And we'll see a kick out by the look of things. As Victoria number 7, Todd Canavan, spends a minute on the bench. Not his first kick out of the tournament, might I add. As Queensland now look to capitalise on the extra player they have in the water. Victorian team, I imagine, will take it to their corner, but Queensland will try and bring it around, take it to the corner of the tray. And an infringement called, but that will be time now. Courageous effort from Victoria, but Queensland with the upper hand since the beginning of the game. An excellently fought contest. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. And that will wrap up the Elite Men's Division. Queensland 2-0 against Victoria. Queensland to take home the bronze. Victoria will have to settle for 4th place. Still to come in this court, we have the playoff for 3rd and 4th in the Elite Women's Division. We have Pacific Blue, comprised of some elite New Zealand women, versing the Amazons, players sourced from the far off regions of Canada, as well as locally grown such as South Australia. Thank you for joining us on the live stream, and we'll see you for the final games of the 2019 Underwater Hockey Championships.